Hi, my name is Caitlin Griffin, and today we'll be looking at Christianity in third world countries through the female missionaries and their art. My research question is, how does the role of Christianity in third world countries change in the depictions of female missionary artwork from the 1800s compared to now? Art and religion are both pillars of society. We are going to look at both, starting with the female missionaries, then women in art, and then the female missionary artist that combines the two, my formal analysis, and the significance at the end. Female missionary work in the 1800s was mainly the women went to go be the missionary wives. They went to go stay in the home, cook the dinners, and just do the domestic housework. Now, female missionary work is they're part of the community, they're part of the education roles, they are a part of the domestic sphere and reaching out to women. This plays into their female role, which is, since they are domestic, since the traditional female role is the domestic role, where they stay in the house, they take care of the children, they take care of the house, they do the cooking, the cleaning. This is the female role, and that this helps them better relate to women in these other countries who this is all they know, is the domestic sphere of which the women are kept in. And because of this female role that the missionaries play into is important, because this helps them get better connections with the native people of the countries they're inhabiting. This is happening in the 1800s and now. It's important because it helps us get the connections. And yeah. Women in art. The popularity. So in the 1800s, women were not artists. They were not considered to be artists, and they didn't have a say in art. This is when in France and Britain is when women started demanding to be called amateur artists and to be able to get into schools and to go be a part of exhibits. The gender roles are, in the 1800s, it was male-dominated, was the art realm. There's no famous female artists from this time. It's all popular male artists. Yeah. But now, the female artists, they're in exhibitions, they have museums all dedicated to themselves. There's the whole feminist movement that started in the 1960s that dominated the art culture. And it is all about the females. And there's acceptance now where we crave to see the equality in the art. There was an acceptance back then because they realized while the men were at war, women had to do something and they wanted to be artists. And now it's even widely accepted because art is a career. And they are allowed to, they're allowed to do it, and they're allowed to be artists and go to art school and have full-fledged careers, and it is widely accepted. So, starting with the connections, the time frame is very similar to the gender roles within. There's not really widely accepted female missionaries and female artists at the same time of the 1800s, and now they are both widely accepted and widely important. They're important because the females are half the population. They're able to get within the family. They are able to help the mom, and if they help the mom, then they're able to connect with the dad, and the whole family is going to follow in suit. And then the gender roles are very similar, where the females were both held back, but now they're able to go and utilize their full potential. And all these together create our female missionary artist. Our first artist is Lilias Trotter. Lilias Trotter was born in England. She was born in the 1800s, and she started off as like a very amateur artist. She was not well known. She went and interned with this famous artist, John Ruskin, who took her under his wing because he saw that she had potential. But by the time she hit her mid-30s, she had an awakening and decided she wanted to be a missionary. And so she moved to North Africa and was helping the women in those villages in North Africa. She still continued to create her art in Africa, and it was just depictions of her work and life surrounding her. We'll be focusing on this picture in the middle. This one is called Women Sewing, and it is a depiction of women and children sewing in a very bland room. It's a pencil sketch. Our next artist is Kathy Evans. Kathy Evans is our contemporary artist. She was born in America. She was raised here, and now she works for a company called Iris Global, which is a missionary outreach company where they send people overseas and they do the humanitarian acts. And Kathy Evans wanted to capture it and bring awareness to their movement, and they wanted to help raise funds for their group. And we'll be focusing on this picture in the middle called Kalonji Girl. The formal analysis will be going over the simplicity, the female role, and the religion aspects seen in all three pieces. So, the simplicity in Trotter's sketch is it's a pencil sketch. There is no distinct details. As we can see here, there's no intricate patterns on the clothes or emotions seen in the faces. This depicts that there is little to no rights in the domestic sphere at the time in these North African cultures. There's a lack of religion, and it's very plain and uncomplicated. There's no education, that's why the children are just sitting at home. It's very bland. The lack of bright colors also shows the lack of influence of the female missionaries in this group. And here, with all the bright colors, it shows that there is the role. It's very simplistic in that she's just happy, and it's singular. It's just one girl. It's a sole focus. So, the female role in Trotter's piece can be seen in the women sewing, in their motion. They're doing their domestic work, and this symbolizes how the women were content with their work because they didn't know anything else. These women were very complacent. They respected their husbands, and their role in society was to just sit at home, take care of the children, and sew the clothes for the family. Their symbolism in the lack of color. The blue represents that it's very calm and serene. It shows how they're complacent. But since the lack of color shows that there's lack of religion and lack of representation for these women. They were not within the they were not represented well in society besides the domestic sphere. However, on Evan's piece, there's a lot on the female role here. The brother on back, and there is emphasis on the girl in the front. Her face and her smile just stand out. She's clothed in bright clothes. However, the brother, you don't see his face. He's covered in the shadows. This shows the lack of male suppression and dominance in this society now. That the women are no longer suppressed by their role of domestic housework. This girl, she has welcomed the female missionaries, and they're welcome in society, and now she's happy in her realm. She does it because she's only a child, and she doesn't get to go into the workforce at this time. The religion seen in Trotter's piece is seen in the lack of colors. This shows the absence of religion. At this point in the 1800s, there's a deprivation of religion in the northern cultures. This is when the missionaries had very first started going out and starting spreading the word, and it hadn't yet influenced these cultures to the aspect of where Evan's piece is at. This is when the missionaries become important, and this shows their lack of understanding for the religion. It's very bland. They haven't felt the power of Christ yet. However, in Evan's piece, you can tell that she's very happy. She was on her way to church, as the artist had said. The yellow, which is her skirt, It's most of her garment. And the yellow represents happiness and optimism. In the Christian religion, it represents fire and purification process. This is the biggest piece, and it symbolizes how pure she is and how happy, because the yellow represents purity. And this influence of modern religion and women have set them free and let them be happy. This has made them vibrant, and they are represented in their society and in their religion, and they're free to celebrate within their culture and be happy. So, both of these are important because religion and art are pillars of our society. They're so widely important. It's a global awareness because we need to know what is happening in our world, what is happening in our world, and what is happening in other cultures. Missionary work in religion is so widely accepted now. Many people are always seen going overseas. There's the Peace Corps. There's always study abroad and traveling, and service is so important in today's society. It is also the Year of the Women. There's been many movements for females this year. It's just very female empowerment, and it's very interesting. And it's interesting to see that how the female roles in these other countries are also being empowered and lifted up with the Spirit of Christ. And that is the significance to today's society. Here's my works cited, and this is the end of my presentation. Thank you.